Ooh, this is very moody lighting for a sneaker video. It's feels like we're in like an interrogation or something here. Let me brighten this up. Okay, that is much brighter, maybe too bright. I put these new lights up in my basement because the regular lights that they gave me just kind of felt like a dungeon down here still. It's just still very dark and dingy, so I got these new beautiful bright LED lights, but now you see what's happening here with the brightness. So maybe some post-production, we can bring it back down a little bit. Does that look good? Let me know down in the comments. I only want to make the best possible quality content for you guys, so you let me know what you think about this, as well as the mic. I got a different mic set up, so let me know how this sounds. I think it sounds better. Now, let's get into today's sneaker. You know, the word meta comes to mind, and not because of Facebook's new parent company name, more of the traditional way that we would use the word meta, because this is a collaboration of a collaboration, or maybe it's just a joint collaboration with Nike. However you want to put it, you know, there's been a lot of talk recently about collaborations in sneakers and fashion kind of jumping the shark, and everyone's doing it, and maybe this one in particular we're talking about today might fall in that category, like a collaboration of a collaboration with Nike. Like, what are we doing? But the quality of the collaborator means a lot in these instances, and I think these three have pulled off a very, very dope release. Today we are talking about the Nike by Sacai, by Undercover LD Waffle. Yeah, maybe you're thinking what I'm thinking, but before we get into the finer details, let's first take a closer look. All right, guys, now you've seen a closer look of these bad boys right here. Welcome to the channel. If you are new here, welcome. Consider joining the fam. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Your likes, comments, subscriptions, engagements, you guys are the greatest. I very much appreciate each and every last one of you. Also, check out some of the helpful links down in the description below. Protective shoe spray and cleaning kits to keep your kicks clean. My favorite sneaker books, as well as links to cop. They are available. These are not, but the sneaker books. We are moving into November and December, the holiday season. Maybe you want to give the sneaker enthusiasts in your life a nice gift, but you don't want to spend a couple $100 on sneakers. Check out some of the sneaker books down in the description below. They're one of my favorite books. I've read all of them, and I recommend them to anybody who is into sneakers. If you haven't read them or have them or want to gift them, definitely help me out by using those links. Now, let's talk about these bad boys right here. The Nike by Sacai by Undercover collaboration is an extensive collaboration, but I don't think that it is in poor taste because these designers are fantastic. For those of you that don't know, Sacai is headed by Chitose Abe. She is a visionary designer that has made Sacai a household name in the fashion world, and even with sneakers now with these really dope collabs with Nike. And of course, Undercover, Jun Takahashi, he's been rolling with Nike doing some dope collabs for a long time now, and in my opinion, some really dope Undercover collabs are significantly undervalued. So those two come together on this sneaker right here, and in more of a meta sense here, we're talking, this is also a collaboration or a manifestation of two Nike silhouettes. So both historically significant Nike silhouettes. So first off, we have the Nike Waffle Racer, and that's where you see this most prominently on the outsole. Then you have the Nike LDV long distance running sneaker that debuted a few years after the Waffle Racer. These are both like 1970s era-ish running sneakers, some of the first releases from Nike, because if you don't know, they started as a running track brand. That is where Phil Knight was, that's what he did in college. He was a runner, and of course Nike was co-founded by Bill Bowerman with Phil Knight, and Bowerman is the inspiration, or really the creator of this waffle outsole. For those of you that don't know, Bowerman was literally making outsoles for running sneakers he was experimenting with in a waffle iron. So he was pressing this melted rubber or whatever, making outsoles, slapping them onto uppers, and giving them to his track students, and using those kids basically as guinea pigs, his athletes. And that is where Knight met Bowerman, and they developed a relationship, and it turned into Bowerman investing in Nike. The rest is history. You'll see some Bowerman series sneakers released every now and then. If you weren't sure who that was referring to, that's him. You get all the context and really dope history in that Shoe Dog book linked in the description. Those come together to make this silhouette. So elements of both are prominent here. That overall very sleek type of low profile cut you get with both sneakers, and I think that is one reason that makes this sneaker more or less accessible to a lot of people while still being very unique in its look. Obviously, this doesn't look like your everyday Nike sneaker, but I think the presence of those retro sensibilities or vintage sensibilities makes this sneaker more approachable to just about everybody. So you can kind of take it in, see it for what it is, and then make a decision based on whether you like it or not. So some other sneakers that really push the envelope in silhouette and structure and go real far off into the avant-garde area might just turn people off immediately. This one at least gives you an invitation to make a more informed decision about it without turning you off immediately to it. And I think that is part of what makes this such a dope collab and release. In a lot of ways, this is exactly what I was looking for in terms of like a not so hyped but recognizable sneaker, because I'm not gonna pay crazy resale, but I want something that's dope and unique looking. This is the one. I think I like these better more than the Sacai Blazers that I reviewed. I really like those as well, but I think I'm more drawn to this silhouette and this look. Now, let's talk about what makes this sneaker so different and unique other than it being a mashup of two sneaker silhouettes. You of course have the now kind of trademarked double stacking effect that Sacai does with the Nike collabs, double stacking the swoosh, stacking along this toe box here of the materials. You have the double stacked midsole. You have two midsoles happening here. And then of course, mostly I think what people noticed first is these double laces as well as the double swoosh, but these two sets of laces in the sneaker, which makes for a very aesthetically pleasing look. And then lastly, the double stacked tongues. Now I like what they did with the tongues here. You have the Nike Sportswear in white on the first tongue, then you have a black tongue underneath that with the Undercover Jun Takahashi on the back there. Apt that they did black because a lot of Undercover's aesthetic is stealthy black and just kind of a more technical stealth look to it. The other standout feature is of course this heel counter that just juts out here, creates like a shelf. Now this isn't the only time we've seen this recently with not just Nike shoes, but other brands as well. New Balance has experimented with this, and of course other Nike models are experimenting with this elongated heel counter coming off here, creating this shelf-like effect. I think it's pretty dope, depending on the sneaker. I've liked it in some, I have not liked it in others, but for this one I think it works because you have all this double stacking kind of thing happening with this sneaker. So, and then along the top here, nice Nike Sacai Undercover branding on top there. You have Nike Sacai branding along the top of the heel there, and then Nike Sacai on the insole as well. Now this midsole, this one on the bottom here is definitely more of a traditional feel. This is the Waffle midsole. I would assume this is an element of the LDV midsole, but this nice comfortable foam-based midsole here with the contrasting royal blue, kind of royal blue outsole here, I think looks great. And then the colorway in general, you have a mostly maroon upper, and I gotta say this is probably not the most sought after colorway of all these LDV Waffle releases, but I think it's a little misguided. I think at first glance I was the same way. You're kind of like, okay, it's kind of so-so, it's a little out there, but this maroon with the black, with the gray, with the white, and then the blue actually makes this sneaker super versatile in terms of what you can pair it with. So the blue allows you to, and the grays of course, the blacks, you can pair that really easily with a pair of blue jeans, maybe some navy or dark blue khakis or slacks. You can do this with grays, blacks, browns. You could pair this, you could even pair this with some greens and reds depending on the shade. This sneaker is sneakily very versatile, because you wouldn't really necessarily think that in terms of a maroon upper with blue, white, and black and gray happening. This sneaker is much more versatile than you would think at first glance, and it's grown on me the more I've been looking at it in person. So definitely a thing that I don't think a lot of people are going to see right off the bat, and I think that speaks to why this sneaker is not as hyped or as sought after as some other Nike Sacai releases. In terms of materials, I've gone with all classic materials that you would find on older vintage sneakers in terms of mesh, suede, leather, the cotton laces. It's all very traditional, and again, that lends to what I think is the approachability of a unique release like this. However, they do step away from the traditional materials for something a little different in terms of more laces. So you get two laces, but you get two additional sets of laces. The first one is a black kind of silky ribbon wide lace with some gold tips. Definitely more of a feminine feel to this, but I think you can weave it in with one or two or however many or by itself. You can really experiment with this, giving this a much more different look, maybe a little more elevated high-end look with the gold tip laces and this kind of silky, shimmery sheen look that these laces provide you. And then you get more of a technical feeling lace, very thin, knit tight, probably a little bit of a stretchy. This feels like the type of lace that you would find on like some outerwear or some more technical hiking boots. This is definitely the type of lace that you would get with that. So very dope. I think this is a little bit of Undercover peeking through here because they definitely go for more of that technical aesthetic. And then I would say Sacai does a little bit more whimsical things with their silhouettes and their materials. All of these different types of laces give you a lot of optionality in terms of making these shoes more unique for you. Usually you get a lot of sets of laces with the sneaker, but they'll all just be the traditional style laces just in different colors. And that's cool, of course, we're not complaining, but different material, different feel, different texture that these ones are giving you allow you to make this already unique sneaker more uniquely yours. I think that's a really cool element. I think that just kind of speaks to the thought put into this collaboration and why I don't think it's a collaboration for collaboration's sake. I really think they were very thoughtful about how they approached this release and what they wanted to do with it. In terms of fit and feel, I went with my true size, same size I go with the Air Force One. I went with these and it feels great, not too wide, not too narrow, nice comfortable platform, good everyday user in that regard. Now, resale, I know some people are going to be concerned with the resale on these. Thankfully, I just looked on StockX right before I hit record here. They are going for basically the retail price. The last sale for my size was $180. These were a 170 retail. So other than the seller fees and the fees you got to pay in shipping and all that, you're basically getting these for at retail. Anywhere between that $160 to $200 range, I think is a fair price. I think they're well worth it. From the material, the construction, the presentation, everything about this is a very dope sneaker. And of course, with the brands involved, you're not going to go out and buy Sacai pieces or Undercover pieces at a discount, really. They are definitely more higher end brands. So this is a really dope way to kind of get your hands on some more higher end, very innovative, very talked about and respected designers in the industry today. And that does it for me, guys, on this video of the Nike by Sacai by Undercover LD Waffle Trainer Racers. Super dope sneakers. Let me know what you think down in the comments below about these bad boys right here. Also, I will respond to you. I'm trying to be the CEO of responding to comments. I will hit you back, so drop a comment. Also, if you are new here, consider joining the fam. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, and I want you guys to be a part of it. Your likes, comments, subscriptions, engagements, you guys are what makes the sneaker channel great. It's not me, it's you, and I appreciate each and every last one of you. Also, check my helpful links down in the description below. Protective shoe spray and cleaning kits to keep your kicks clean, my favorite sneaker books, as well as links to cop, but not for these. So check out some of the other links. It helps out my channel. I very much appreciate it. And with all that being said, hope you have a good day, good evening, good night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.